keep going through the opening chorus.
Good morning. Good morning. Please stand and join us in singing our opening song, One Light. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
And good morning, and please be seated. Welcome to Unity of Stewart as we head into the last couple of weeks of August. And we are small but mighty today. We know that it'll pick up come September. And we are here, and that's all that matters. So welcome to everybody in the room, and welcome to everyone online. We are glad you are here. Let's see, for those of you who are on YouTube who have told me that they still watch, hello to you. And that is Tony and Irma and Jess and Phil. Good morning, you two. And you four. And Cheryl is up in Connecticut. Good morning. If you're on YouTube and you're wondering why I'm still not saying your name or good morning, email me at revjudedenning@gmail.com, and I'll be happy to add you back to the little romper room list that I have going here. And we have on Facebook, let's see who's joining us this morning. We have Barb and Connie and Jerry from the booth. And let's see, Linda and Rogelio from DeLand, and Kathy Neer. Good morning to you all, and to everyone else I can't see, good morning. We're glad you are here. As always, we have with us our Joyful Noise Band and Choir. Yeah. And our special music today features Don Rowell, and I just want to mention, let's clap for Don, sure. And I happened to not be here this past Friday night for the Coffee House concert, and I hear it was wonderful. And as always, the Connected Souls Band raises money for the center by doing that concert most every month. And last Friday night, they raised $400. So thank you. Thank you. All right, if you are in the room and you would like to get a welcome packet that has some information about our center, if you'd like to raise your hand if you're comfortable, Tom or Ricky would be happy to give you a welcome packet. Anybody here today for the first time who would like a welcome packet? All right, back there, that's Brittany. All right. All right, if you're online and you'd like a welcome packet, you can email us at admin@unityofstewart.org and we'd be happy to send you one. Inside that welcome packet is information about Unity of Stewart, about the larger movement. There is a form there that if you fill it out and take it back to the podium, it will get you on the email list unless you check off the little box that says, please don't put me on your email list. And who's on the podium today? Audrey is on the podium and she'll be happy to give you a gift if you take that form back. What else is in there? There is a prayer intention / request form if you would like us to hold you, our prayer chaplains to hold you in prayer. You can fill that out and put that in the beautiful wooden box out there in the foyer, and we will hold you in prayer here. So we have some goodies in the kitchen, so if you'd like, we invite you to gather with us in the kitchen on the patio for some treats and conversation after the service. And welcome. We're so glad you're here. All of that said, what is most important here is we are a welcoming, affirming, practical path of spirituality. Everyone is welcome here, no exceptions, and you honor us with your presence. So thank you for being here. Also, if you haven't raised your hand and would like a welcome packet, or you'd like to share one with a friend, they're on the table in the sanctuary. Actually, I think they're on both sides now. Is that right, Ricky? So you can just grab a welcome packet on the way out. Moving on, we have some announcements. I wanted to just mention, in case you haven't heard for a while, that John Polici every Monday has a Course in Miracles class here in the sanctuary. That's at 7:15. I think it goes to about 8:30. John, if you haven't been in John's company or been in any of his teachings, he's a wonderful man. He is very deeply rooted in lots of different scripture, and of course, A Course in Miracles. He also has an 8 o'clock service on Sunday mornings here that dives into a bunch of sometimes esoteric and readings from all sorts of different traditions. So that's John Polici. And as always, we invite you to join our choir, Joyful Noise Choir. Everyone is welcome. They rehearse on Tuesday evenings from 6 to 7. And I didn't mention this to you at all yet, but it's August. I know it's August. But Christmas is coming. Sorry. And so we'll be putting together a Christmas choir in the next couple of months if you'd like to just be in the Christmas choir. So you'll hear more about that as we move into October. Right. All right. And we have an upcoming town hall meeting, September 7th at noon, and that's just about looking at where we've been so far this year and just bringing you up to date on what's happening and what we plan on happening. And it's really it's going to be informal. Everybody is welcome. There's no votes. It's just to ask questions to get the lay of the land, and that's September 7th at noon. So come and join us for that. And coming up on September 11th, could be a kickoff for regular small groups in our ministry. So I'll have a topic, and then we'll discuss a little bit about that topic, and then see who's interested in having an ongoing weekly small group in our ministry. And we also have someone who is wanting to do something during the day at their home. So we'll talk a little bit more about that on September 11th. And there's our board of directors, and our director of the day is Tom Taylor, and you saw him if you came in the front door. He's in the back, and he's here to hold space, to answer questions, and to direct you to where you'd like to be directed to. And so thank you, Tom. Thank you, board of directors, for showing up. And there are our prayer chaplains. And our prayer chaplain on duty today is Amy Neff. She happens to be the prayer chaplain team lead. And what Amy's purpose and the prayer chaplain's purpose is to hold us in prayer. And so they do that regularly. And also, they also do automatic wellness calls once a month for those of us who are voting members. And if you're not a voting member and you'd like a wellness call, it's a short prayer. Sometimes people just let them go to voicemail so they can listen to them over and over. And so you can also sign up for that. I think there's a sign-up sheet, but if there's not, you can tell May in our office that you'd like to receive a call once a month. So thank you, Amy. She will be in the sanctuary after service, and you will know her by her white stole. And if you have something that you'd like prayer support with, Amy would be a joy, a challenge, anything at all, Amy would be happy to pray with you. And it's generally a short prayer, and hold your prayer in the highest confidence. So thank you. Thank you, Amy. And prayer chaplains. And alternatively, or as well as, you can email us at prayer@unityofstewart.org, and we will put your prayer in the prayer box. And you can also call the Silent Unity prayer line, which is at Unity Village, right outside of Kansas City. And that number is right there, 816-969-2000. So every week, of course, we do good news and dedication. And the good news today, and so this good news, ever since the beginning of the year, for many of us, it has felt like there has been a lot of bad news. And so I decided in the beginning of this year, the beginning of 2025, that I'd start with some just kind of a little bit of good news to start our Sunday with. And there are a bunch of kiddos in a school in Pennsylvania with 3D printed violins. And so there was this woman, a superintendent at the she was in the Pennsylvania school district, and she said, well, 70% of our students are low income, so that means 100% of the kids receive a free breakfast and a free lunch every day. This is Dr. Laura Jacob. And she noted that the boundary to a lot of kiddos playing instruments is the cost of rental and how much it costs to rent an instrument. So she figured out how to produce these instruments at a fraction of the cost, and she gives them away free. The school district gives them away free. She started out with 2 3D printers, and now she has 30 in her office. And so she said, we started with humble beginnings, but she says it's the moment when you see them smile like that comes out as they're learning to play, and they create that sound themselves. So if that sticks with them, then to me, it's worth it. So that's our good news for today. And so I invite you to join me in dedicating our time together today in this creative force that moves in and through us. And for those folks who are attuned to what's going on in their little spaces and do that creative, loving work to lift up their communities. So let's dedicate our service to that today. Our reading today. My words and actions uphold the world community. As a member of a world community, I share a sacred kinship with every person in the world. We have been created in divine love and are one in spirit with the divine and with one another. I feel at home anywhere I am because I am always in divine presence. I appreciate the uniqueness of people, the traditions, cultures, and languages in my neighborhood community and my world community. Being a member of the human family brings me great joy. I uphold my community with words and actions that come from my consciousness and my sacred connection with all people. So let's take a deep breath together as we just settle into this holy space, this place that we call sacred because we co-created together. And let's lift up our hearts to the world community. This small community that's right around us right now, the communities of our families, of our workplaces, of our neighborhoods, and of the world, holding all in sacred love and compassion as we rise up in action and love. And so it is. Amen. And let us together affirm our daily word, our reading affirmation today. Rooted in peace, I rise for what matters. And let's take a deep breath, anchoring this affirmation as we affirm it one more time together. Rooted in peace, I rise for what matters. And as we prepare for prayerful meditation, let's sing.
1, 2, 1, 2.
And we breathe deeply, consciously. Dropping our shoulders, settling into our seat wherever we are. Releasing any tension the body may be holding. And allowing that mystery that we call God to be in us, to move through us, and to move through the world as us. And 1 or 2 more deep breaths, if you please. And as the breath finds its natural rhythm, I invite you to allow your breathing to remind you of life, vibrant, joyous life, right here, right now. And as we move into prayerful meditation, I invite you to allow the words you hear to become the words of your own mind and heart this morning. With each breath, I settle, I return, I remember who I am. In all my love, in all of my innocence, in all of my compassion, and in all of my absolute worth. I remember that I am not here to go along just to get along. I am not here to blend in or stay quiet when something in me says no. I am here to live with integrity, to stay awake, to stay aligned. I choose a deeper path. I stand tall in quiet clarity. I tell the truth even when it shakes me, even when others don't understand, even when it may cost me something. Right here in the stillness, I hear something deeper, a whisper of spirit, a knowing, a sacred yes. So I say yes to truth, even when it trembles. I say yes to love, even if it's inconvenient. I say yes to the power within me that won't settle for anything less than wholeness. I say yes. I trust the guidance that comes from within. I trust my grounded, loving action is holy. And I claim right here and now, I follow spirit. I walk in truth, and I follow the light that I am in the quiet. And as we have rested in this quiet truth of who we are, and we have co-created this sacred space, I invite us to bring into our awareness all of those who are on our prayer list here at Unity of Stewart, and all of those that are in our minds and hearts this morning, any person, any situation. Seeing each one lifted up. Each one moving into wholeness. Each one safe and protected. And if you'd like to speak names or situations out into this holy space, I invite us to do that now. And turning all over into the care and keeping of the one. I invite you to join me in praying this in the name, in the nature, in the light, and the love of the indwelling Christ consciousness. And so it is. Amen. Let's sing.
One, two, 4.
Morning, everyone. I came to Unity in 1996, so I've been here quite a while. And I came for the music because I was playing music, but I stayed for the message. And all those times, I don't know how many, truth lessons and classes I've been in, but I've learned a lot of different things. And when it comes to the song that we're doing today, maybe it's time to put the stuff down. The way you were taught in your past may not work for you anymore. And I learned here a lot of things that changed my life. So this song is all about that time to sometimes let the old ways go and accept something new in your life. So.
1, 2, 3.
Well, maybe it's time to let the old ways die. Well, maybe it's time to let the old ways die. And it takes a lot to change a man, and it takes a lot to try. Well, maybe it's time to let the old ways die. Well, nobody knows what waits for the dead. Nobody knows what waits for the dead. Some folks just believe in things they heard and things that they had read. Well, nobody knows what waits for the dead. I'm so glad I can't go back to where I came from. Well, I'm glad those days are gone. Well, they're gone for good. I could take the spirits from my past and bring them here to you. Well, you know I would. Oh, you know I would. Nobody speaks to God these days. Well, nobody speaks to God these days. Well, I like to think He's looking down and laughing at all our ways. Oh yeah. Well, nobody speaks to God these days. Well, when I was a child, they tried to fool me. Said the worldly man was lost and that hell was real. Well, I've seen hell in Reno, and this world's one big old Catherine wheel, you know. Well, spinning still. Well, maybe it's time to let the old ways die. Maybe it's time to let the old ways die. It takes a lot to change your plans and a train to change your mind. Well, maybe it's time to let the old ways die. Maybe it's time to let the old ways die. Maybe it's time to let the old ways die. Well, it takes a lot to change your plans and a train to change your mind. Well, maybe it's time to let the old ways die. Well, maybe it's time to let the old ways die.
Did you write that song?
I did not write that song. That song was written by Jason Isabel, and it was in the movie A Star Is Born.
Oh, okay. All right, so maybe it is time to let the old ways die, yeah? And when I think about the old ways, I think about how when I was a teenager or a young adult before I found unity, that I could oftentimes see myself as a victim. I could oftentimes be rooted in resentment for the things that I didn't get or the things that I got that I didn't want. And for me, letting the old ways die was about recognizing that I can co-create my life with that which we call God, that mystery that we call God. And I wanted to reference a line in that song. He's looking down and laughing, and nobody speaks to God these days. So here in Unity, I know we have a few people who are here for the first time today, and I just want to be really clear that we never refer to God as He. We never refer to God as she. We rarely refer to God as God. All right? We refer to that one power and that one presence. That we call God. Right? That is within us and all around us. That moves through the world as us. That there is nothing outside of us that is judging. That is saying, you're good, so you get to heaven, and you're not so good, so you go straight, down the track. We believe it's all consciousness. That the kingdom of heaven is right here, right now. And I'm going to be talking about Jesus, the teachings of Jesus in this teaching. And when I look at Jesus, Jesus is somebody that's pointed the way to love and compassion and wholeness. We aren't called as unity people. We aren't called to worship Jesus. We are called to follow him and to see what the teachings mean to us. So every time I speak about the Christ consciousness, that's what I'm talking about. That presence and that power, that divinity that lives within each one of us. So that's my little metaphysical moment. So we're going to move right back into the lesson now. So last week we explored fire in the belly and calm in the soul. We talked about spiritual maturity as a powerful balance of passion and peace. We reflected on how that balance shows up in our lives, in our homes, and our relationships, and our choices. So this week I want to take it a little bit further. What does fire in the belly and calm in the soul mean in the larger world? Because the truth is our spirituality doesn't stop in this room. It doesn't stop in our personal relationships or in our workplace. It doesn't stop for sure on our meditation cushions. It walks with us into messy places, public places, the places where our values and the world collide. So in unity and in New Thought traditions, you've probably heard the word, maybe, I don't know, somebody who is in 12 steps can tell me this later. What you resist persists. What you resist persists. I've heard that a lot in my New Thought days. Usually that phrase is used to remind us to not get stuck in pushing against something. It reminds us to not be in denial about anything, right? Just try not to hide everything, right? Because when all of our energy goes towards pushing or denying or hiding, we actually end up feeding the very thing that we don't want. Anything that goes underground becomes our foundation. So it behooves us to not let things go underground, to meet the world where it is, and then take action, whether it's personal action or whether it's world action, global action. So I want to turn that phrase around, as you could see. If you have a bulletin in your hand, this is a combination. Today's lesson is a combination of this week and next week. So I don't know what I'm talking about yet next week. So this is a resistance that I want to claim. This sacred resistance. Because sacred resistance isn't always about struggle. It's about standing up and being heard and being counted. And sacred resistance isn't denial. It isn't rage. It isn't kicking up a bunch of drama. It's the courage to say no when something violates love and compassion, fairness, or integrity. It's choosing not to cooperate with that which diminishes life, even while we stay rooted in spirit. The very foundation of our teaching is to always be aligned with that which we call spirit, God, Buddha, the Atman, divine universe, whatever it is we call it, however it is we feel it. What is ours to do is to stay aligned with that. And of course, we do that with prayerful meditation and sitting in silence and holding people in prayer. So it's calm in the face of pressure and fire in the face of injustice. That's the balance. I came across this just recently. It's written by the Bishop Stephen Charleston, and it's called The Job Description for a Spiritual Seeker. Full-time position available for a person who strives to be mindful and aware of the deeper context of life. Must be intellectually curious, open-minded, and willing to change. Reverence for creation, personal humility, and a strong commitment to social justice will be necessary. Study, prayer, dialogue, and experience are important. Compassion and kindness are requirements. Starting date, now. Salary, 0. Benefits, unlimited. Apply in person to the maker of everything. That's not a new posting. That's always been the job description of a spiritual life. It's always been an inside job that once we allow ourselves to meet ourselves where we are, warts and all, we can then rise up, rise through, and move through all of that. So that's the job description of a spiritual life. And here comes the Jesus bit. In Matthew's gospel, he turned to the Pharisees. Now, Pharisees are religious leaders of that time who loved meticulous rituals but ignored the heart of the law. And he said to them, and this is a translation from, it's like a plain, you'll hear it, a plain English translation. He turned to the Pharisees and he said, "You're hopeless, you religion scholars and Pharisees, you're frauds. You keep meticulous account books, tithing on every nickel and dime you get, but on the substance of God's law, things like fairness, compassion, and commitment, you carelessly take it or leave it. Careful bookkeeping is commendable, but the basics are required." Now that's sacred resistance, calling out the difference between appearance and the essence of what something is. In another moment we may know well, Jesus walks into the temple and finding it turned into a marketplace, money changers, lenders, all set up with what was supposed to be a public, sacred space. So he didn't go in there and start lecturing politely. He flipped tables. Now, I've heard in, my education and my ministerial education and a new thought is like, see, Jesus just gets angry. He gets ticked off and he flips tables. And so the focus from my education has been that he's just plain angry. And he just flips tables and walks away. But I don't think this was just temper. He wasn't storming around in a fit. My take on it is that he was clear about what was supposed to be happening there. He saw something sacred being desecrated. And so he acted with what I'll call holy disruption. And then he walked away calm and went about his business. So for me, that wasn't rebellion for rebellion's sake. It was divine discontent. It was saying no to what had become normal, but wasn't sacred. Our co-founder, Charles Fillmore, said this: "We do not have to submit to error. The spiritual mind refuses to be bound by appearances." Now, that's not positive thinking for its own sake. That was non-cooperation with anything that denies the activity of spirit in life. And Myrtle Fillmore, who was diagnosed with a terminal illness, told by doctors to prepare for death, answered, "I am a child of God and I do not inherit sickness." That wasn't denial, it was clarity. That was clarity. I affirm that my body is whole and well. She refused to cooperate with fear-based thinking, not because she was a superwoman, but because she trusted something larger than herself. She trusted something deeper. The Fillmores refused to live by limitation. They pushed back against fear with truth, consistently, calmly, steadily. That's resistance too. So, what about now? Not for nothing. None of this is hypothetical. Authoritarianism doesn't always show up in boots and uniforms. Freedoms are shrinking right now. Fear is rising. And, just if you watch the news the last couple of days, authoritarianism is showing up in boots and uniforms. Sometimes it looks like policies chipping away at rights. Sometimes it looks like social pressure to stay quiet. And sometimes it's our own inner fear saying, stay safe, don't rock the boat. It might also be, oh, they're not coming after me. Look at me. I'm a 60-something-year-old white woman. Nobody's going to come after me. But here's the thing. They may be coming after me. They're certainly coming after my rights. Now, so if you're a white man, a cis white man, then you think, oh, they're not coming after you. And they're probably not. But you're the only ones that are safe. So where does that leave us? When everybody else but us, those rights start to shrink. So when we hear that thing, oh, I don't know what I can do, or I should not say anything because I don't know if they'll be knocking on my door, or whatever that is, I invite us not to fall into that thinking, because all of us can do something. And that's sacred resistance. It means we live by spiritual integrity, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's lonely, even when someone rolls their eyes at us and says, oh, you're too much. Do you have to talk about that? It doesn't mean rage. It doesn't mean being dramatic for the sake of being seen. It means knowing who you are. It means knowing who we are and not betraying that. So what might it look like for us? Calling out injustice even when it's subtle. I have somebody in my life that most times when I can't think of this is what happens, Spirit. If you're going to give me an idea to say to the people, give me all of the examples in my head right now. This is a silly one. Maybe not silly. But there are a lot of things in our lives that we've been called to not speak about in the way we used to speak out about it. So, you know what a gypsy is, right? Somebody from Romania. How many of us grew up with the term, he gypped me? Anybody? Anybody get gypped when they were, yeah. So I have come to find out over the years that that is a slur about gypsies. Because gypsies were seen as unclean, and they were thieves, or they were seen as that. So when I have a conversation with this person, and they say something like, I was gypped, I say, and I get pushed back most of the time. Oh, it's just a word, doesn't mean anything. Oh my goodness, words mean everything. Words mean everything. So saying that, it's like you always do that. We can't even have a conversation, And it's like, yeah, well. It's up to us to stand up for what is in alignment with our spiritual integrity. Sacred resistance. So I'm still on the list. I digress. Thank you. So voting with moral clarity instead of party loyalty, that's resistance. Refusing to dehumanize people you disagree with. And that goes for all of those people we're all thinking about right now. The people who don't think like we think in the government, refusing to dehumanize them. That's a tough one right now. And yet, that's what we are called to. That's what we're called to do. Saying no to burnout culture, that culture that says, go, 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 do, 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 do. Say no to that instead of pretending you're fine. And stepping in when someone is being mistreated, even if it's not your business. That's spiritual activism, not a performance, not for applause, just for spiritual integrity and honesty. Here's a small story. During the Vietnam War, there was a man who stood outside the White House every night with a candle, and he would stay until it absolutely burned down. So one evening, a reporter asked him, "Do you think you and your candle are going to change this war or change this administration?" And the man replied, "I don't come here each night to change them. I come here each night so that they don't change me." That's sacred resistance. And I want to talk to you about writer and attorney Michelle Alexander. In 2016-17, she wrote this. She described justice as a river. And she wrote this: "A river of love, equality, and shared humanity that has been flowing since the beginning of time. That river cannot be stopped. Our task isn't to start it, it's to get in it." So picture a fleet of boats on the river. Each one has a mission: immigrant justice, racial justice, queer justice, healthcare for all, protecting education, peace in the world. And in that boat, each boat has a captain that has been steering for a long time. None of this is new. When we step into the boat, we are not the captain. We're the deckhands. Our job is to row, to keep rhythm, and to add our energy. And to shout encouragement, not just in our boat, to all the other boats. Keep going. We're with you. In our boat, we can also dance and sing and love each other fiercely and celebrate life. And we can make our boat so alive and so irresistible that people on the shore want to climb in. And when they do, we don't scold them for not knowing what we just learned 5 minutes ago. We welcome them, because that's what they're looking for. She goes on, "The work is to stay in the river, keep rowing, and stop fighting each other. We're all in the same current, moving toward the same vision. That takes patience, generosity, and courage." So, again, this path isn't about personal enlightenment alone. Unity teaching isn't just an inward journey. It's a call, which is our fifth basic unity principle, to live the truth we know. It's all well and good to listen to this on Sunday and to read every day of what it is. And yet, we are called to take action in our lives, in our family, and in our world. And there's never any guarantee of applause. And you'll tick some people off. That's the truth of it. But there is a promise of divine guidance in it all. When we sit in the quiet and we open our heart and our minds to that presence and power, that mystery, we receive guidance. If we have an open mind and an open heart, that's enough. Sometimes sacred resistance is setting boundaries without guilt. It means refusing to spiritualize harm, like saying, well, everything happens for a reason while people suffer. No, I haven't heard anybody here say that, but I know some people say it. Sacred resistance faces what's hard, without pretending it isn't. I won't pretend this is fine, and I won't let it define me. And I will do something. That's spiritual maturity. I once heard a teaching in a conference I was in. It was called being ultimately responsible. And he was telling the teacher, the leader, was telling all sorts of stories about things that are wrong with the world. All of the things that we look at and say, "Oh, I wish that were different." And so there was, and I'm not going to tell you because I don't want to put this picture in your head, but there was something that had happened in the news, and it was just getting me. I couldn't stop thinking about it, and I said to him, "What about something like this?" Because it was somebody who had been in danger and had been hurt, and I said, "What about this? What do I do about that?" And he told me, "Send money to a women's shelter. Or go work on the hotline. Do something." So once we get something that is bothering us, that maybe keeps us up at night, or maybe we can't shake it in our mind, the antidote to that is to do something. No matter what that something is, to do something. I won't pretend this is fine. I won't let it define me, and the way I don't let it define me is to do something. If you want to see sacred resistance in public today, you can look at the Reverend Dr. William Barber and the Poor People's Campaign. They march, they protest, but they do it with prayer circle songs and scripture. They do it dressed with dignity. They're showing the world that their message is rooted in spirit. They get arrested regularly. Not for show, but because they refuse to be silent in the face of poverty and racism and political games. They show up in love. They don't shrink. That's sacred resistance. So I invite you to ask yourself this. What systems are you cooperating with that don't reflect your spiritual values? Why or where are you keeping quiet just to stay comfortable? Where are you saying yes when your heart is saying no? That middle question, where are you keeping quiet just to stay comfortable? I was talking about this lesson, this teaching sacred resistance to somebody, nobody here. And they said, "Are you really going to get up and say that? Are you going to get people angry?" I don't think so. But maybe, I don't know. And that's me being in integrity. Maybe we'll make somebody angry. I don't know. That's not my business. My business is to stay in integrity and to stay in alignment with spirit and in love and in compassion and truth and rising up for those who can't rise up for themselves. So, it's not about guilt. It's about honesty, because truth is where freedom lives. Sometimes that truth trembles. Sometimes it flips tables. Sometimes it simply walks forward calm and steady, unwilling to bend. Sometimes it shows up as holding a candle. It's not easy, but it's worth it. It's how we stay whole in this fractured world. Some people will call it rebellion. Some will call it annoying. But you'll know it's alignment. You'll know it's spirit. So I want to close with these words by Albert Camus. Or Camus. Does anybody know how to say that correctly? I didn't look it up. Is it Camus? Thank you. If you'd like, I invite you to close your eyes, and if you'd like to allow these words to become your own. In the midst of hate, I found there was within me an invincible love. In the midst of tears, I found there was within me an invincible smile. In the midst of chaos, I found there was within me an invincible calm. And in the midst of winter, I found there was within me an invincible summer. No matter how hard the world pushes against me, within me there's something stronger, something better, pushing right back. That's sacred resistance. And I claim this truth for each and every one of us. Namaste. It's time for our weekly love offering, which is, of course, how we keep this church running. Unity of Stewart gets no support from the outside world or our mothership. Everything that you give helps us to keep doing this work, to keep the doors open, to pay all the things we have to pay, and to be here every Sunday for you. So thank you. Thank you for your gifts. Thank you for your gifts of your time, your talent, and your treasure. We appreciate you and hope you know that this moves through each one of us here and helps raise the vibration of the world. So there are the ways that you can, for those of you who are online, on YouTube and Facebook, those ways to donate are underneath the video. And so that's all the ways you can, and even for you in here. And we also have, of course, Tom and Rick at the ready. So let us, this is our prosperity prayer. Let's affirm this together. In a universe overflowing with the allness of God, all of the needs of Unity of Stewart and those we serve are instantly, constantly, and bountifully met. From every direction, known and unknown, expected and unexpected, our abundant good comes to us now. We are grateful. Amen. And our love offering blessing together. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give and receive always in love. Let's sing about it. We have some announcements before we welcome the kiddos in. On August 31st, we'll have our Spirit Circle led by me, which will talk about all of these month's lessons in short form. I'll have some questions, and we can sit in a circle and just talk about what was meaningful for us, and it's a way to just kind of deepen what we're learning every Sunday. That's August 31st at noon in a small classroom. And I'm not sure if we need meals for this, because I haven't heard, but Family Promise has asked us for meals for our family at Emmanuel Stewart. We are a supporting ministry for that. And if you would like to provide a meal, I invite you to call Roberta at that number. So there is a Unity Community feedback survey. So if you're on our newsletter email list, you got this survey in digital form. If you could fill it out in the next week before our 10 days before our September 7th town hall meeting, that would be wonderful. If you're on the newsletter and you did not get it, raise your hand. Marlis, I'm thinking that you look a little concerned there. Okay, so because of that, I printed some out. And so if you'd like to take one, and what would be the best thing if you could sit down and just fill it out here and bring it back so I know it gets back here. And I'll tell you why I'm hitting this so hard is because we want to know what you think. It's about our ministry. It's about our Sunday service. It's about our facility. It's about our music. It's about me. It's about all of that. How are you being fed here? What value do you find here? And also, what suggestions might you have? So that's the feedback. It's on the information table. And if you if you get one here, don't do it online. And if you've done it online, please don't do it here. So thank you for that. And you can bring them back to the office to May. So that's that. And then right after service, I asked for your help, and for those able-bodied and with a desire to do that, help moving 5 tables into the classroom for a private event that is happening here this afternoon. Thank you in advance. What else? Oh, there's Tuesday Book Circle with Marlis. Hey, how are you doing on that book? You're almost done? Okay. Do you have a new one picked yet? Seed of the Soul by Gary Zukav. That's the next book. When is that? Do you know when that's going to start, Marlis? Okay, mid-September. Okay. I don't hear anything. Scott, would you do me the favor of going to see? Because I know we have kiddos in there. So we sing our kids, for those of you who are new with kiddos, we sing our kids in every Sunday. Sometimes they like it, sometimes they don't. So we'll see. My grandkids were here 3 weeks ago, and neither one of them wanted to walk down the stinking aisle. So, whatever.
Our next coffee house will be September 26th, Friday.
September 26th. 6:30 on a Friday night, and there's goodies, coffee, and sweet stuff, and great music. So, September 26th.
Yes.
Thank you, Beanie. They coming, Scott? 1 minute. Okay. What else? Oh, Qigong. There's going to be a Sunday Qigong class in September. It would be good if I knew the day, right? I think it's the 7th. I don't know when it is. It's in mid-September. I'll tell you about it next week. Yeah, I think it might be the 2nd week in September, but don't take that to the bank. Are we ready? All right, let's stand as we sing the kiddos in.
3.
You may be seated. Good morning, kiddos. How's it going?
Eli's back.
Is it going good?
Going good. You want to go stand up with sister? You want to stand up with sister? There you go.
There you go. How's it going, Miss Jen?
Going good. Oh. Going good. Does anyone want to share about today's lesson? Nova? Eli? Would you like to share?
No pressure. No pressure, Eli.
We were kind of just wrapping up as soon as we came in, so we didn't have a lot of time to discuss who would share.
Do you want to go sit by your mom's, baby? Yeah, okay. Here.
Yeah.
Here we go.
You can.
You got it. You got it. All right, you can find it.
Showing your hand.
It's a lot for the first time.
It's a lot.
It can be a lot. So today we read a really great book called The Name Jar, and it's about a little girl who is just moved to America from Korea, and she feels embarrassed about her Korean name. So her classmates are helping her choose a new name. And she, in the end, decided to keep her Korean name and be proud of its meaning, because for her family it means grace. So we created these cute little origami. Ray, thanks. Origami. We created these origami boxes, and inside we gave ourselves meaning to our name. So like Nova's name has obvious meaning, but it was an opportunity for us to feel in our heart and give our hearts a meaning. So that was a really fun activity, and they are kept secret. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Miss Jen. Anything else, Jen?
Nothing else.
All right. Okay. So we did this already.
Yes.
If your birthday's in August, happy birthday. What's that? Nova missed it. All right. Let's sing to Nova. All right, Nova.
Happy birthday to you. Happy
let's stand and bless our kiddos in song. Amen and amen. Now let's close with the prayer for protection and the peace song together. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever I am, God is. I am divine. Let's sing.